Hey y'all, I am back with another video, and today I decided let's talk about some Married at First Sight. Now, ever since this new Love is Blind season has come out, I haven't been really talking about Married at First Sight love because honestly, I have been a little bit tired of Married at First Sight, but honestly, this recent episode that just happened was very shocking to me. Just the whole situation with Madison and David and Michelle and Alan freaking out at the retreat, and just all the girls kind of just calling Madison out on what she did, and Carla just giving hints on that it might be Madison, and just all the girls looking at Madison sideways, Alan freaking out, then David gaslighting Michelle. Then you have people on the internet defending David of why he cheated. I literally have a friend. I have a friend who's defending David for him cheating. And I'm just why? Just why? I don't understand why everyone's defending him. And yes, this is only a TV show, so we could agree to disagree. But I'm gonna be talking about why I stand 10 toes down for Michelle, why I stand for what she did. And honestly, I think she did what she did, and it was honestly right. And just why Michelle and Alan are the right people in this situation, and Madison and David were dead wrong in this situation. I don't care. I think that David is a complete villain. I think that David is completely dusty now that I'm thinking about it. I honestly do not. I don't have any words for David. I just think he's nasty. That's how I can't sugarcoat anything. I can't defend him or anything. I can't really just stick up for him or anything. I just have to just be nah, he did what he did, and honestly he needs to own up with it. And I think Michelle knew right from who the person David really was from the jump. When David went out to go get tacos at 1 a.m, or I think at 3 a.m, and Michelle was questioning him. I think Michelle was probably suspecting that, what if he is what if he's talking to someone right now? And so for me, it's Michelle, yes, she has every right to feel how she feels, because yes, okay, she was harsh to him. Okay, yes, she might have had been a little bit talking down to him for a few weeks. But I think in this situation, Michelle wins, because David never had the right to cheat if he felt some type of way. If David felt some type of way, he could have left. If David really felt some type of way and he felt upset, he could have left and got the divorce and gone on about his way. He did not have to be here. Remember with that other guy, what is it? I remember in season 14 when they had that guy with Alyssa, and Alyssa was constantly crying. Alyssa was constantly making a big deal and just constantly just making a fuss. She was in kindergarten, she was making a fuss, and then the guy was just today's my decision day. That is what David should have done instead of sticking it out with Michelle. And I think Michelle was trying to see if it could really work. And so I think David, for him to say oh, you weren't even really giving me anything, you weren't really I think Michelle would ask him why did you do what you did, and then they would just be you didn't give me anything and all that stuff. And for me, I'm just okay, you had your family cover up for you, and then now you want to gaslight Michelle and be you didn't really give me anything. You just didn't really ask me about anything. Madison, will ask me about more stuff. And then he was oh yeah, we're more intimate. I get it. When you're in a lie, it is hard to come out with the truth. It is hard to kind of speak. When you get caught in a lie, it is hard to tell the truth. You're quiet, you're silent. But for him to go out of his way to gaslight her, I'm just why are y'all defending David when David cheated? So now we condone cheating. We just condone cheating, because for me, I would have never accepted that. I don't care what Michelle did. I think David broke the boundary, and David crossed the line by going out of his way to send that message and to seek things out with Madison. I don't care how bad y'all feel about David or how much sympathy y'all have for him. Yes, okay, Michelle did treat him in some type of way, but I think Michelle, she was always real from the jump. I think Michelle was just honest to David, and that's what it was. I think from the jump, Michelle could see right through the type of person David was, and she clocked it, and she was right this whole time. And so I think, yes, okay, now everyone's like, oh my God, like Michelle didn't even like David anyways. It's not that. They were still in a marriage. And I think Michelle was still trying to work things out. And you even had Michelle in some episodes being a little bit more open with David. You know, Michelle was starting to get more comfortable with David. And even Michelle said it, that, you know, David cheated right around the time when we were just filling things out for each other. And we were just starting to, like, you know, kind of like, you know, be like, you know, when things were just getting better in this marriage. You know, things were, and I saw it with my own two eyes. Things were just getting better in their marriage. And then David ruined it by cheating. And okay, that doesn't, and I think Michelle, okay, I don't think Michelle was actually harsh to David at all. Michelle crashing out about David for weeks, I don't think that gave David the license to go and send that message. I just don't think that. And then y'all are like, oh no, but she didn't even like him anyways. No, I honestly feel like that she was just now starting to feel this guy out. She was just now starting to like this guy. She could have married the guy. She could have actually been happy in this marriage eventually and work things out, you know, have David move into her apartment, you know, then have them buy a house together, work out finances. Maybe David gets a new job. But no, David ruined it. And okay, I get it. If David really did not want to be here, he could have left from day one. Like, he could have just left from day one. And I think David was forcing himself to be there. And by doing that, he found other people to cheat with. I was even watching Little Black Book 91's podcast, and I think you had Sean or some guy named Sean on that podcast saying that, you know what, when you're in a marriage and you feel miserable, the best thing to do is either try to work it out and try to like flip the tables, or leave. Don't try to talk to people while you're in that marriage. Don't try to talk to other women or men while you're in that marriage just because you're miserable. Like, now it's like, David, you're doing too much above and beyond. And for Madison, I'm just like, you know, Madison, like, David does not have his stuff together. So I'm just like, okay, I get, you see David was attractive, but I'm just like, what were you really gonna get out of seeing things out with David? Like, you weren't gonna get anything. Like, you make more money than him. And then you even had Michelle confronting Madison, like, hey, so like, where's a text message? Like, so like, and then when Michelle was confronting Madison's like, oh, I didn't even know the message was for me. I didn't know it was for me. Like, the way how she was trying to avoid the question was very two-faced. The minute Michelle was starting to like talk about the whole cheating scandal, Madison wanted to leave the home. Madison is just disrespectful. And then you even had Michelle asking Madison for the messages, and Madison was being so defensive. She's just like, oh my God, okay, here's the messages. Okay, you know, they're deleted. Like, we never take, like, she deleted the messages. Madison deleted the messages. Like, she deleted the messages. And then once everything was solved and like the truth came out, and then Madison saw Michelle, I think Madison said something to Michelle like, oh my God, so like, okay, now are you good with me? Because now are you gonna try to investigate me more? Like, I think Madison was also frustrated about Michelle like investigating things to this level, but Michelle deserved to do that. Michelle deserved to do everything, and Michelle to me is award winning. And I think Alan also had a right to react like that, because I mean, Alan really got Alan really like leveled himself up for Madison, and now look, he got played in his face, and he was a good guy, and that just shows that like Alan was taken advantage of as a nice guy. You know, a lot of nice guys on these shows get taken advantage of, and that's why I think Alan, he's like that soft guy. I think also Alan does have a little bit of some mental disability, and I think that's kind of why he might have also gotten taken advantage of. But I think Madison, like, it just said it all. And honestly, I just have to like hold Madison and David to the fire. Like, they are evil. And Michelle, honestly, I think Michelle should not be a villain. Okay, yes, she might have did what she did, but it wasn't as big as cheating. And so I'm just like, why are y'all defending David? He cheated. He could have left if he felt uncomfortable. He could have left if he felt uncomfortable by Madison constantly talking about, don't try to fake everything by, okay, trying to like, you know, give it your all, pretending to pretending to work it out with Michelle, and like letting her just talk down and like be like, no, I'm still here. And then also like kind of cheat behind her back. Like, it's just like, now you could have your cake and eat, like, this is what, like, just the way how y'all are defending David to me is wild. I'm just like, David David does not deserve any of this grace. David deserves no grace. Like, he cheated, and that just shows about the bum that he actually really is from day one. It shows about the bum that David really was from day one. And also Madison, I know I didn't get into Madison too much this video, but I feel like I need to do a separate video on Madison as well, because I'm just like, the way how Madison just like literally just sat there and acted like all was good, and then Madison, like, you didn't have the need to go like tell at least Alan. Like, I don't know, I think Madison was afraid to tell Alan. And then when Madison sees Alan like freaking out, you know, the way how Alan was frustrated was insane. I mean, Alan was about to drive himself home. Like, this was insane. Madison, like, she was just a waste of space. When the truth came out, she was just a waste of space, and she'd know what to do now. However, I do think that Madison and David maybe would have been a good couple. But for me, it's just like, why couldn't y'all wait till the show ended? Or at least, like, seek out a relationship in private. This whole situation is giving Sarah Ann and Jeremy from Love is Blind season 6, that whole scandal and situation. Yeah, that's what it's giving. But for Madison, like, Madison is not a girl's girl. Because, okay, now you took this person's man in a marriage. And now it's like, whenever you're confronted about it, you like just have a problem. You're like you're actually mean. Like, you're very, like, you're disrespectful to Michelle. Like, you could have at least just came forward and been like super nice, and at least been like, you know, very like open with Michelle. Like, you know what, no, he did this, he did X, Y, and Z, you know, he did what he did. I understand that. I'm super sorry. Yeah, I should tell you from the jump. But it's like, still, like, for Madison to then even just talk like that, it's just like, she's diabolical. And I'm watching the previews for next episode, which comes out today, but I think I can only watch it on Wednesday, I believe. I don't know. And, you know, Carla is even calling Madison out for it, and Carla just like, you know what, you guys are grimy, like, you guys are slimy. You even have Juan being like, you know, you guys are off to a rough start. And yeah, they are off to a rough, they are off to a very bad start. I think Madison really just shot herself in the foot, because she got a man who is not on his own 2 feet. She actually found a man who literally, like, is not put together yet. It's not, she literally, like, I don't know. And I think, yes, David does have some ambitions, but it's like, nah, like, if you look at him, he's actually a child on the inside. And so I'm like, Madison, you really wanted this guy? You really wanted this guy? Like, you really wanted this guy? Like, for me, I'm just like, something is wrong with Madison mentally, because the way how she acted when Michelle confronted her, I think Michelle is the realest person on the show, even more than MM. I'm sorry, but Michelle was the realest person on this show from day one. She was the realest person on the show. And I actually like the fact that she actually called David out for, like, okay, like, why are you like this? And I'm like, yeah, like, why is he like this? Like, he is 35. He's 35, which I'm not going to get too much into. But this whole cheating scandal, I have to blame it on Madison and David. And okay, maybe, no, I think Michelle was just starting to like David. The minute she was just starting to like David, David goes ahead and cheats. That's what happened. I think that's why also Michelle is so frustrated. I think that's why Michelle is super frustrated, because the minute Michelle was getting comfortable in the marriage, the minute she was fine, the minute she was satisfied, David went ahead and cheated. David decided to go ahead and cheat. David decided to go ahead and stick things out with Madison. Yes, and I know Madison is attractive. I know this girl. I know Madison is an attractive woman. She's a beautiful woman. Madison is so pretty, but still, you could have just left. You could have waited till after the show. You could have waited till this year to start dating Madison. How about that? How about, like, you can't even wait. I don't know. I think David was just very impulsive. He was very impatient. Like, it's just a lot of stuff just wrong with this, like, just Madison. Like, I feel really bad for Alan. Alan put his all in this marriage. Alan put a lot in this marriage. But I think there is someone out there for Alan. I think someone will find Alan for who he is. I think someone will treat Alan for who he is. I really hope Alan is really the person. Like, I just really hope. someone finds Alan. But Madison deserves no one. And just Madison doesn't, like, I think Madison deserves the broken man. I think Madison actually and David are actually for each other, because, I mean, David still is in his parents' basement. David has nothing together. And just, like, Madison, I cannot wait to see you struggle when you're gonna be doing 50-50 with this guy, and when you're gonna be like, when this guy is poor, this guy is broke, and you can't really, like, and you gotta, like, you know, pay for all his stuff. You gotta, like, you gotta kind of like, you know, support him financially. I really hope Madison has fun with David and his brokenness. Yeah. But anyways, I feel super bad for Michelle and Alan. I think Michelle has been the realest on this show. I think Michelle should sue. I really think that Michelle should really just sue. I feel really bad for Michelle. Like, I don't know why people are saying, like, you know what, Michelle didn't even like him anyways. That is just so disrespectful. I feel really bad for Michelle. Like, I feel super bad for her. Like, I'm like, God, like, just praise her. Praise this woman. Like, and this also, her parents went through infidelity. Like, her parents got a divorce. Like, she has divorced parents. And now she got to go through a divorce on a TV show. Now she has to go through, like she literally has to go through a divorce on a TV show. Like, this is why, like, God, why did you make this happen to Michelle? Like, why did you make this happen to her? Like, she did not deserve this. She did not deserve this. But I know karma will catch Madison and Alan. Karma will catch them. Also, should I talk about MM and Aikichi? I'm also talking about MM and Aikichi on my next video. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Also, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.